Hey everyone, welcome back to a short flow. This flow, I'm going to incorporate a little bit of primal movement, which might feel challenging, it might feel fun, it might feel really strengthening for your system, and I'll ramp up the difficulty as we go along so you can always go back to the previous level of difficulty and repeat this practice and work your way towards some of the more challenging variations if they interest you. You might want to block for some of the one-legged squats. Feel free to grab that. And if you'd like to go up into an inversion, always feel free to be near a wall. So I'm going to use this block to begin with a little bit of breath work. You can take that block underneath your sitting bones. You could sit with your palms up, your collarbones open. You might even close your eyes and center in. Find the front of your spine, your soft palate over your pelvic floor, getting a little taller, finding your dignity through your posture, your shoulders wide. Your breath in, your breath out. And today I'm going to encourage you to take a little bit deeper breaths, a little more oxygenization. So you might focus on the inhalation. Long exhale. And today I'm going to bring in the idea of creating a strong primary root. So when you're growing a plant, sometimes to create a strong root system, if you overnourish the plant, it actually doesn't become very resilient. But if sometimes you take a little bit of the nourishment away, there's a little more time in between the cycles of nourishment, the plant can develop a really strong root and a lot of resilience. And this speaks to me about finding a little bit of challenge in the moments, testing the boundary, testing the edges a little bit, and seeing the after effect. Does it make you feel a little bit more radiant, a little bit more alive? And so maybe you hold that in this practice today. So you can take another bigger breath in. Exhale everything. And we'll come up and off of the block. You can take it to the side, and you can tuck your toes here and start to come into a toe squat. Your knees can go wide. Bring your heels a little closer to the floor and then tap your knees to the floor. So go back and forth a little bit. Heels back to the floor, knees tap. Maybe your heels even reach the floor and come on forwards. I'm going to add a little to this as well. You can circle your knees out on the way forwards and in. Circling, you might change directions. Creating a hip circle, warming up through your hips. Don't worry about what it looks like. Feel into your hips, your ankles, your knees for 3. With your breath for 2. And for 1. And then you can bring your knees down. You can sit on your heels or the tops of your feet if that's better for you, or even a block in between your heels and your seat. Take your hands out forwards, interlock your fingers, and start to make wrist waves where you're pressing through the top of one wrist and then switching. You can switch directions. One way might be a little easier for your brain. And then clasp your hands together and make figure 8s for 3, for 2, and for 1. You can come off of your tucked toes, maybe pitter-patter your feet. Tuck your toes under and come into a pouncing position, like a crouching down dog. And then turn your hips to the left and sit your right hip down, and you can pull your left elbow back. Come through center back into that crouch position and switch sides. Left hip to the floor, pull your right elbow back. And you can breathe with the movement. So we're sitting right down in this one. You can rainbow through your spine, up and over. Finding a little opening also through your feet there. So find this rhythm for yourself. Feel free to go a little faster, a little slower than me, or follow my pace. 3, 2, and 1. Come into the middle. This time sit on the tops of your feet. Take the backs of your hands to the floor. Straighten your arms as much as is comfortable. You can make fists and open up your hands. 1, make fist and open up your hands. 2, make fists and open up your hands. 3, shake it out, hands to the floor. This time, we're gonna take our right foot to the outside of our right hand, and then take our left knee in and sit down on our left hip. External rotation to your bottom leg. Step back, and then you can come back into that pouncing position. Left foot forwards, sit your right hip down, and then back into the pouncing position. You can breathe with it. Find your rhythm. As you might notice, when I come forwards with my right foot, my left hand comes off of the floor to make space for the knee to come in there. So 1, 2, and 3. And then back into a downward facing dog. Your breath in, your breath out. You can walk your hands to your feet. Hang in a forward fold. Feel free to separate your feet. Take a breath in there. Let your head hang. Sometimes I like to bob my spine towards the floor. And you can round all the way up, standing at the back of your mat. So standing now on your left foot, compact your right hip into the center. We're gonna step our right foot back. Keep your torso as tall as possible. Tap your knee down if you can, and come back to center. So step your left foot back, tap your knee down, and come back up. Now on the way down, you could try tapping your knee towards the back of your ankle. Try not to have your hips shift too much left to right. So can you keep your midline kind of compacted and resist really curling forwards? So have a bit more of an upright spine. You can always use your hands as counterbalance for that. And you might go for 3. Your front knee could track right over your second toe. You might put some emphasis into that for 2. Compacting outer hips to middle, and for 1. On both sides. And then come on up, stand at the top of your mat. Forward fold. Find that. Walk your hands back out to downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet. And in between those rounds of primal movement, we'll move into a flow. So right leg high into the air. You can bend your knee, open your hip, roll out your ankle if you want. Right knee to fit into your right armpit as best you can. Then right foot on the inside of your right wrist for a low lunge. Start to turn your feet here towards the left like you're in a wide angle, but your hands are in the same position. Right arm up into a big twist. Now if you want, you can turn your palm away from your face, take it behind your back, or catch your inner leg. Find that. Feel free to move your left arm to make it comfortable for you. Roll open your shoulders, your breath in, your breath out. We're gonna turn all the way towards our left foot, sliding our left hand all the way around. So it's like we're going into a half moon, and then you can come into a big bent knee half moon on your left leg, or straighten your bottom leg. Half moon. Your breath in, your breath out. Your back leg can come down. We'll reverse it. So feet through the middle, parallel to the left edge of the mat, into that twisting position. Both feet forwards, both hands come down to the floor. Forward fold into a pyramid. Back heel heavy, your breath in. Lengthen your belly, your breath out. Now you might use a block underneath your left hand or not. Right hand to your sacrum, and then come into a bit of a balancey revolved triangle. Maybe your right arm comes up, your breath in, hips back, head forwards, your breath out. Right hand to the floor, step back into a three-legged plank. Shift forwards, lower. You can come into a cobra or an up dog, and then up and back to a downward facing dog. Your breath in, your breath out. Left leg high, bend your knee, open your hip. Maybe roll your ankle. Take your left knee right into your armpit as best you can, and then left foot on the inside of your left wrist. Low lunge. Turn your feet to a wide angle to your right. Left arm up into a twist. Your breath in, your breath out. You can take your hand behind you, palm facing away, or catch your inner leg. Then start to slide your way towards your right foot. Turn it towards the back of the mat to find half moon. Can be a bent knee half moon, bottom leg bent, or straightening your bottom leg. Your breath in, you can push your low back into your arm if it's there. Your breath out. Foot finds the floor, reverse it. Feet parallel to the right edge of your mat, all the way into that twisting position. Both hands to the floor, pyramid. Back foot spins in a little bit, your breath in. Lengthen your belly, your breath out. Right hand underneath your nose, come into a balancey revolve triangle. Bring your chest bones back a bit, and then revolve your bottom lung towards the ceiling. Hips away from head. Breath in, breath out. Both hands to the floor, left foot back, three-legged plank. You might come into an upward dog there, or a cobra, and then up and back to downward facing dog. Breath in, breath out.